Here is another fraction and fraction evaluate the function problem. You got the function f of x equals x over x minus 1, and you're asked to evaluate and simplify f evaluated at the quantity of 1 over t plus 1. So, like before, we'll just take the 1 over t plus 1, and everywhere you see an x, you get to plug in that whole fraction of 1 over t plus 1. So, what that looks like is 1 over t plus 1 divided by 1 over t plus 1 minus 1. Again, we've seen these kinds of problems, and anytime you have fractions within fractions, if you can get one single fraction in the numerator and in the denominator, then you can change the division to multiplication and invert and do the reciprocal of the denominator and multiply to be much nicer. But we can't do that just yet. So what we need to do is take this denominator and make it into a single fraction. So we have a different color. So 1 over t plus 1 minus 1. I do have a denominator of t plus 1, so I can go ahead and just give my 1 a denominator of t plus 1, but I also have to do a t plus 1 in the top, just again to make it still say the same value, it just looks different in its representation. So then what we have is 1 over t plus 1 minus t plus 1 over t plus 1. So you have to be really careful in this step because there's a subtraction symbol, here's a quantity, so you have to be sure that you subtract each of those terms. So you have a 1, and then you'll subtract the t, and you'll also subtract the 1, and that gets over t plus 1. And then what happens is the 1 subtract 1 is gone, and you have a negative t over t plus 1 is your new simplified single fraction for the denominator up here. So then what we have, different color, 1 over t plus 1, all divided by negative t over t plus 1. So again, you can treat that division as multiplication and then flip your denominator. And then what that leaves you with is 1 over t plus 1 times t plus 1 over negative t. Your quantities of t plus 1 can cancel because they're common. You could have canceled them over here, but I don't know if you remember that from algebra classes. And what you're left with is negative 1 over t. Final answer.